10 shocking facts about the Titanic. The Titanic was never actually called unsinkable. This is a common misconception, but the Titanic was never actually called unsinkable. The White Star Line, which owned the Titanic, claimed that the ship was practically unsinkable, but this is not the same thing. The Titanic was built to the highest safety standards of the time, but it was not indestructible. The Titanic had a swimming pool on board. This is one of the most surprising facts about the Titanic. The ship was so luxurious that it had a swimming pool, a Turkish bath, and a squash court. These amenities were only available to first-class passengers, of course. The Titanic had 2 sister ships. The Titanic was one of 3 Olympic-class ocean liners built by the White Star Line. The other 2 ships were the Olympic and the Britannic. The Olympic was launched in 1910 and the Britannic in 1914. Both ships survived their maiden voyages, but the Britannic was sunk by a German U-boat in 1916. The Titanic was carrying post. The Titanic was carrying over 2,200 pieces of mail when it sank. This mail was eventually recovered and delivered to its destinations. There were only enough lifeboats for a third of the people on board. This is one of the most shocking facts about the Titanic. The ship had a capacity of over 2,200 people, but there were only enough lifeboats for 1,178 people. This means that if everyone on board had tried to get into a lifeboat, over 1,000 people would have died. The iceberg that hit the Titanic may have jutted out 100 feet above water. The iceberg that hit the Titanic was estimated to be about 90 feet tall. However, some experts believe that the iceberg may have jutted out as much as 100 feet above water. This would have made it even more difficult for the Titanic to see the iceberg in time to avoid it. Over half the people on board could have survived if all of the space available on the lifeboats was used. As I mentioned earlier, there were only enough lifeboats for 1,178 people. However, if all of the space available on the lifeboats had been used, over 1,600 people could have survived. This is because many of the lifeboats were only partially filled. Milton Hershey was supposed to be on the Titanic. Milton Hershey was the founder of the Hershey Chocolate Company. He was supposed to be on the Titanic, but he changed his plans at the last minute. This is one of the many what-if scenarios that surround the Titanic disaster. The Titanic lies 12,600 feet underwater. The Titanic sank to a depth of 12,600 feet. It was not until 1985 that the wreck was discovered. Since then, it has been explored by many scientists and researchers. The Titanic disaster led to major changes in maritime safety regulations. The Titanic disaster was a wake-up call for the maritime industry. After the disaster, new regulations were put in place to improve safety standards for ocean liners. These regulations included requiring more lifeboats, improving the design of lifeboats, and training crew members in lifeboat drills. I hope you found these facts about the Titanic shocking and interesting. Please like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.